off one of these volumes. I'm just trying to figure that out. Krista, which one needs volume I need to be turning off?
Hello?
Hi. Is it still echoing?
We're on Facebook, right? Okay.
No, it's not echoing anymore.
Okay, perfect. So this is our panel. We're going to start from left to right. So say hello to Keisha. She is the owner of Simply Naturals, and she is going to give you a brief introduction of herself and her company and her knowledge about the hair care industry.
Hello, everyone. That was a lot. So like she said, my name is Kashia. I am the owner of Simply Natural. I've been in this business for about, well, I first started just doing oils, and that was in 2016, so about 4 years now. 2 with revamping and actually doing hair care products in general. What else am I supposed to be grasping or summarizing on? I've been natural this is my second time going natural, of course. So I've been natural fully now for 1.5 years. So it's been going good. I have knowledge on, of course, hair care, health care, how to maintain your hair, how to help your hair grow. And I believe in making products that should be good enough for you to put into your body, that should also be good enough to put onto your hair. So my products are all natural, no silicone, no sulfates, no paraffins. And it's just all around a really good, healthy, all natural vegan line.
Awesome.
Wonderful. So we're going to move on to Taria Thompson, and I know Taria from the Natural Hair Group on Facebook. So she's going to tell us more about her knowledge of natural hair.
Hi. Known on Facebook, Ria, so let's go Ria telling my full name, but people tend to mispronounce it. I've been natural, I would say 5, almost 6 years now. I became natural by accident. I was sick for a while and I couldn't wash my hair, couldn't perm my hair or anything like that. I was really sick with a bad chest infection, and so, old people don't wash your hair, none of that. And after not perming it for like almost 2.5 months, I just no longer wanted relaxer, didn't want the stress of it. Transitioned. During my transition, I decided to take natural hair care courses to learn how to care for my hair properly. So I have certificates from Talia Ward, other natural hair care, just short courses, PTVI, etc. On mostly my focus is on caring for the hair. I add to that my background in biochem. So for me, hair is all about the science behind it. Why does this work this way? How does this work this way? And how to get to work for your specific hair care needs.
Wonderful.
Good stuff.
Okay, next is going to be Travis Sweeting, and I met Travis while he was organizing the Curly Crew Festival last year. So Travis tells me he's not an expert in the hair care business, but he can talk about his personal experience. So, hey Travis, you can greet everybody and tell them about your experience with natural hair.
Yeah, definitely. As a guy in the Bahamas, I've probably been clean cut for most of my life. But a few years ago, I started to grow out my hair because I wanted to change up my look a bit. After I quit my corporate job and everything like that, I threw away all my suits and everything, and then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna be a rebel in this and start to grow out my hair. And so that was that. I haven't really stuck to any real care besides regular shampoo and washing. I've really started to just get into like oils. Like I use castor oil. I have it here, and some other things. So I'm still pretty much learning. But a big part of it for me, and when I formed the Curly Crew Festival, was the empowerment around and surrounding natural hair, especially in the Bahamas. Like you still have stigmas about persons growing out their natural hair, and that goes for women and men. I've heard the stories. Some people love it, but you have a lot of people who always say, well, you need to either perm your hair, or for guys, you need to cut your hair, etc. That. And so for people to understand that what grows naturally from your hair is okay, that's a big thing for me. And like I say, I definitely like to be on this panel to learn a lot from what you guys are going to say more in terms of hair care, because for me, I work a lot, and especially late in the night, and so sometimes I even right down to simply to wrap up my hair. Sometimes I forget about it and stuff like that. So, but I do have manageable hair, so it bounces right back. But that's pretty much for me what it is.
Cool.
Wonderful. So next is going to be Shantora, and I met Shantora on Instagram. She's always sharing those fabulous hair pictures. Now, everyone, it seems as if the persons on Facebook Live said that they're not getting the feed, and I'm just trying to see why it is that they're not getting the feed, because I realize depending on the traffic that's online, at the time of day, it could determine if they have interference with getting the video. But either way, it is recording, and so we will have a copy of it afterwards to share again. So, but in the meanwhile, I'm still trying to figure out why is it not sharing, if it's just the how many persons are online, or
Well, I mean, I'm viewing it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can
so am I.
I can see
you're viewing it.
Maybe you need to share the actual link itself, because what you sent was like a link to the group, and you don't see it immediately. You don't see the live immediately.
And
All right, so
it has about 6 shares on it as well.
Most of them are me, I think.
well, that's still good. I mean, it's good that somebody's getting the link. So if you said you're sharing, you found I just need to share the link.
Yeah.
Yeah, share
Everybody
the live.
actually just hit share on their and share it on their personal
Yeah, I
page.
did, because on my
Group.
personal page, I'm watching it now, so it's up.
Krista, can you reshare the link? I don't know if that's what's causing the problem.
Sure.
Or share it direct to the page, so the
Doing that
persons who
right
are on now could just click.
Yeah.
So, so you said that your viewers can see it live.
Yep. Yes, they can.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are people watching.
Yeah, there are people watching. So
We're up to 25 now.
Okay, cool. So Krista, share the link to our Facebook page again as a text, and then maybe persons could just click on that text and join the video again. All right, so sorry about that. Shantora, you were about to tell us about your knowledge of the hair care industry.
Hi, my name is Shantora Roll. I am the proud owner of Hair and Hair Beauty Salon. I specialize in hair care, and I've been a stylist for over 20 years. I've been natural, I would say, going on 2 years. And I love dealing with natural hair. I feel as if healthy hair starts from within, and then you could start on the outside of the hair. And I love taking care of natural hair. I love sharing information. I love learning more about natural hair. I feel as if, not because I'm a professional stylist for over 20 years, there are not things that I can learn from you guys. But I'm here to answer any question anybody has, or any questions or concerns, or there's no dumb questions. I feel as if just go there and just ask. I feel the dumb questions is when you don't ask.
I totally agree with that. You know, like I tell the kids, my children, hey, there's never a stupid question, because you actually may not know.
Yes.
All right, we're next on to, I think this is Tara Miller from Metamorphosis. See, there's a Taria and a Tara, and I was about to say, am I supposed to say Tara or Taria?
Just go with Rhea.
They say Tara have the golden hands in the Bahamas.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, my name is Tara Miller, like she says. I'm the owner of Metamorphosis Beauty Salon. I've been in the hair care industry for 19 years, but I've been the owner of the salon for 9 years now. I I deal with natural and relaxed hair. I've been natural for about 20 years, but I've had my locks for about 17. Yeah. So I'm well versed in both textures, like I said, relaxed and natural. And just like Shantara, I'm here to answer as much questions, give as much information that I have to you guys, and also to get information from you guys as well. Because like she said, we learn every day. I go to
Yeah.
seminars all the time, and
Yes.
things change at the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
have to stay on top of the trend. You have to stay on top of the products that are out there and all that. So yeah,
Okay.
that's me.
Wonderful. So it's great to hear from everybody and who you are. So before we dive into the topic of how to care for your hair in this lockdown, we're just gonna bow our heads for a brief moment and just pray and ask the Lord to guide us as we guide the viewers, because you know we need all kind of help right now.
Yes. Especially with this pandemic.
You know, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, so bow your heads. Most eternal and all-wise Father, we give you thanks and praise for this opportunity to get together. We thank you, Lord, for this opportunity to share with others what we know about hair care. We ask, Lord, that you bless this session, and we ask, even while we are talking and having a good time, that your spirit of peace would rest with us and rest with our viewers and help people to know that even during this time that you are in control and we can just relax because you've got this. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
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 All right, so we are about to dive into the discussion. And so we talked about several areas of the hair care industry that persons may have questions on. And so, Krista, do we have any questions before we begin from our viewers?
Let's see what's going on over there. I'm sure we should have some questions by now. Okay. Well, I see someone said, this is Lizzie Alex. I don't know if you read the post
Paris
yet.
plug.
Yeah.
Plug.
Hi, Lizzie.
Currently. So I can't wait to hear from her. No questions just yet. So you guys don't be shy. This is a live panel, and although we have a few questions to ask the panel, feel free to ask any questions, and we'll have one of them or whoever you want to answer your questions and concerns. So I
It's
guess you
free
can
hair
just continue until
consultation
they
right
start.
now.
Listen to me.
Yeah, I mean,
Take advantage.
you got to pay for this.
Free hair consultation.
Awesome. So we are going to, let's start with Kesia. Am I pronouncing that right?
Kashia?
Oh my goodness.
You gotta
Really,
don't worry,
not
it's
the
fine.
name.
Because this me going through it, I was like, Krista, I don't remember Kashia. But it's okay. Kashia, you could say Keisha, or we could just go by Simply Natural. Either one.
Simply Natural, because that's the name I know. I could get that wrong.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to start with Simply Natural, and she actually has a new book out, you guys. It's a PDF on how to grow 6 inches of hair. You know, some people can't even grow 1 inch. So,
Nice.
so whatever you got in that book, we want to hear about. So you could
Are
tell
you
us.
coming to some people live though?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so I created the book. It's called Journey to 6 Inches of Healthy Hair. So the goal is to get you 6 inches in a shorter time frame, because naturally your hair only grows about half an inch every month or so. So you only get about 6 inches a year. And that's if you doing amazing
most,
stuff, if
yeah.
you're doing the most, if you're doing what you're supposed to do. You ain't had no color damage or anything like that. And so it's 6 to 7 steps. And these steps aren't crazy. There's nothing dangerous with it. It's just steps that I've taken time and time again to get my hair back to where I needed to go. Because, you know, everyone comes to you and they're like, okay, well, how did you get your hair to grow so fast? You only been in natural for a year or so, and it's my second time cutting off my hair. But in the book, it just details steps such as shampooing. I am a big advocate of cleaning your scalp. And so whilst a lot of people have jumped on the bandwagon of co-washing, I only believe you should co-wash. I tell people that co-washing is for people who wash their hair multiple times a week.
Yes.
Girl, if you have your weave in and you ain't take them out in 2 months, or you only wash your hair once a month, there's no way you could co-wash. You need everything starts with the clean slate. I actually named my shampoo Clean Slate, so because you need a fresh start when it comes to healthy hair. So the problem with a lot of people is they have so much backup and build up in their scalp that whatever you're putting on it, you can't allow the products to penetrate properly because your scalp is not clean. So that would be one step. I'm an advocate for deep conditioning. I am big on deep conditioning. If you're not deep conditioning, why are we washing your hair at this point? I'm so serious when it comes to deep conditioning because these are steps that you need to take to maintain or get healthy hair. I'm an advocate for moisturizing your hair properly. That's another step in the inside the book. If you're not moisturizing your hair, a lot of people don't realize the porosity of your hair is important. And so different porosities suck up or take in moisture differently. And I don't want to take the time from everyone's plate, but those are that's 3 of 7 steps in the book to get you to healthy hair care. So it's small steps. I even include DIY recipes in there for everyone who might not want to spend money to buy products, but there are ingredients right in your house that you can use for healthy hair. And it will get you at least 6 inches of hair within that year if you're doing the steps and if you're maintaining, because that's another thing. Consistency is the problem. You can't just do something for 1 week or do something for 1 month and then come back to me and be like, my hair is not 6 inches. You only did it for 1 month. It's impossible for your hair to grow that fast. And
What's
so
the cost of the book?
The book is only $5.
Anybody else have any other input? Because we have a lot of questions coming in. So I just wanted to quickly butt in. So the gentleman by the name of Marlinson is asking, pretty much the issue of cost always comes up in discussions on natural hair and its upkeep. Is that a fair assessment? Can it be done with minimal cost? What do you guys think?
Yeah.
With minimum.
Actually, it can. I'll just chip in from me. Like I first started my journey with Cantu, and I used to, and that's when I was living in the States. So I could get like Cantu products for like $5, and then I came back here to Bahamas to live, and then you have like Cantu products like went up, like it's like 10 to 15 depending on where you go. And so like even Shea Moisture, like if you want to use it, like your products in Lowe's that goes up to like 25 or more. And so that's how I get to my current position of using like a lot of body products because they're the most cost effective locally. Besides doing DIY recipes, so there are ways to keep the cost minimal, depending on the products that you like.
If I could chime in, I actually remember the natural group that Renee knows me from did a whole series on why most people find natural hair to be so expensive. And it's because we tend to be product geeks. This is
chunky.
Chunkies.
Not attacking anyone, but I'm being real. Hop from product to product to product before we give one product a chance to work, a chance to see if it works with your hair. And so for me, I try to get people who are transitioning into the basics. A good shampoo, a good conditioner, a good deep conditioner, an oil that works well with your hair, and water. Just the basics. It starts with the basics. your styling tools from there would be your gels, your foams, or whatever. But for the first, I would say month or two, I had to really figure out what was working for my hair first. But I found that I could actually get away. I did it just to test run it so that when I talked about it, I had proof. I got away with about $30 worth of products that lasted me 90 days.
Exactly.
Wow.
Overuse of product is
Is
a
a big
problem as well, because people
right.
feel like they have to pack on the stuff into their hair, and that's the only way it's going to work. But they overuse it, and then the products end up clashing because you're using too much of certain things, and then they say, oh, this ain't working.
Yeah.
But it's overuse of the product.
So
And if
my,
I
Let
could
me ask you this. I know I'm supposed to be asking these questions, but do you feel as though the reason why people are packing it on is because of the fact that we have all of this beautiful, luscious, frizzy hair, pretty much, that probably needs to be tamed?
Well, I think it's lack of the knowledge of knowing how to apply the product, because sometimes on the back of the product it will say for the directions, apply a generous amount. Okay, and when they say a generous amount, what we do, we go in there, we dig out a whole
well, I
lot,
black, so I scoop
rub,
it.
you know, understand? Rub. You sometimes you don't rub your hands together, you just hit it right here, and the only place would get it is this section right here, because by the time you do like this, you know, like nothing really gets to the back, so only this section is is full of product, right? And then you're trying to get it to move all around. But all you have to do, it takes a bit of time. You section your hair out and go piece by piece, and you use a little bit amount. And as you feel your hair softening up, you move on to the next portion. So it's just taking your time with your hair care regimen. Yeah.
And what I also want to say
Anybody
is
else before I
that
move on?
one last thing, I'm just going to piggyback off of what everyone said. The problem with natural hair, it gets expensive when you become a product junkie. And two, okay, I'm going to be honest, right? Certain brands, if you're talking like the Camille Rose, the Shea Moisture stuff, certain brands are expensive over here. But you also have a lot of natural hair care products available, made by Bahamians right here. And so if Camille already costs $20 something online, by the time it come over here, it's gonna be $30 something. But you have natural hair brands and Bahamians who are making products right here that are affordable, that you can also purchase instead of trying to go and buy these certain things online. And on top of that, like Shantora said, you just need the basics. It becomes complicated when you have 30,000 of different products and you haven't even given the first 5 products to try a proper chance. And so I think that is the problem. Everything, there will always be something new on the market. You don't have to buy everything that comes on the market.
And I feel as if too, most people that are natural, they tend to go on YouTube and they follow, let's say the YouTuber is a 3C and they are a 4B. They will go and try that product on their hair and it doesn't work. That's because you and that YouTuber hair is two different textures. The density is different. It cannot work. So I feel as if the YouTubers, I don't like to get product knowledge from them, because I feel as if most of the times they're paid to talk about the product, and then you have the person who wants to try the product be like, oh, this isn't working on my hair. Probably I'll go on to the next thing. That it is not going to work because your hair is different. This person here is different. So I say get the knowledge that you need to know what your texture is the main thing. And then you could go and figure out what product works for your hair. Now, I tend to know that the 4Cs need something more thicker.
More heavy.
The 3s need something more, not as thick as the 4s. And then the 2s need something really, really light.
Really light,
Yeah. So I would say, like how Tara was saying too, a lot of people they overuse the product that they're using. They're not actually sectioning their hair, taking their time, applying it, using a big T comb, making sure it gets to the mid shaft, to the ends of the hair. They just packing it on. Sometimes you just pack it to the front of the hair, not the middle has nothing on it.
You'll never see no love.
So section is the key thing when it comes to being natural. And I feel as if in order for any product to absorb into the hair shaft, the hair needs to be cleansed properly. Natural girls do not like to cleanse their hair properly. And that can mean, when I say cleanse, sometimes you need to detoxify the hair itself because you need to get rid of the petroleum, the wax, or the edge control, which you have on the hair shaft. So what's going to happen is when you go and try use your curling cream or your curling gel, it's not going to actually take the shape or the form that you're looking for because you have all this buildup on the hair. Yes. So you need to make sure that you're actually cleaning the hair properly in order for these products to be absorbed into the hair cuticle. Unless you can be moving from the next product to the next product to the next product.
Build up on build up.
Yeah, one of those 5 products should always be a clarifying shampoo.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
the
And you could use, even if you don't have a clarifying shampoo, I've found that using the bentonite clay could actually be a good natural detoxifier for the hair.
Yeah, ACV wash too, the apple cider vinegar.
Yes.
You could,
yes.
So what is your take on, let's say, suggesting that persons go into a salon and have a style done or consultation? Because Shantor did that with my mom, where when she finally cut off her hair, she gave her the style and she said, okay, Mom, this is the 2 products you need to use. You can use whatever shampoo, but these are 2 products you need to achieve this at home. So you don't ever have to come back to me if you don't want to.
Right.
Save your money. This would be the product A and the product B that you need to create this look. And, sometimes the stylist, by touching your hair and their experience, they can tell you, hey, you have 4A or 4B, because like someone like my mom, if you say you have a 4A, she like, what is that?
I feel as if sometimes too, a lot of the natural stylists, they leave it up to the person. Like, say for instance, if I have a natural client that comes into my store, I will first do consultation. We sit down and we discuss because sometimes a person cannot come every 2 weeks to come and get their hair done. So I don't want them to leave the store, go to Beauty Shack or go to any other beauty supply store and go figure out what they need for their hair. Me as a professional, I'm there to educate them and let them know, hey, this is what you need for your hair in case you're not able to come to the salon. And that's not trying to take money out of my pocket. That's basically educating them because, like you said, sometimes they just don't know. So it's up to us to educate the clients.
Okay, so we have questions from the viewer.
Yes, we do. We have several
coming in.
Okay, so go, Krista.
So Marlon keep giving these really bomb questions, but we'll get back to him. Pardon? What were you saying, Renee?
Okay, I said go, Krista. You hit us with the questions, and so let's try to answer the questions briefly but thoroughly.
So, yes. So we have quite a few more questions on moisturized hair, how to keep your hair moisturized, because obviously we know, our kinky sisters know how hard it is sometimes to keep your hair moisturized. Like you could just finish washing it and doing your LOC method today, and like the next day it hard and crusty again. So anyone on the panel, give some of our audience members ideas of how to keep your hair moisturized long term, if that's even possible. Is that okay?
The first thing is
yes.
I think with natural hair, the first thing is most people, what we have to realize is that natural hair will not look shiny the way relaxed hair, most hair types. And so we confuse that shine with moisture. We confuse the wet look with moisture. It won't look wet, but your hair is still moist. Right now, my hair is very moist. If I pull it out, you can see the snapback. It's very moist. But looking at it, it may look dry. So we tend to think that putting oils on it is moisturizing. That's not moisturizing your hair. Most of your moisture comes from water.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So when you wash your hair and done the deep conditioning process, what you want to do is seal in the moisture that's there. That's what the oil does. The oil itself does not moisturize your hair. And so if you
Yeah.
Say
sleep
it
without
again. Say it again.
the oil
Oil is the sealant,
Yeah.
not a
does not
moisturizer.
moisturize your
Yes.
hair. It seals the moisture in
Yes.
your hair that comes from water mostly.
Yes.
So when you turn around and you've put all of that good stuff in your hair and sealed it and put in your nicey twist, and then you sleep on a cotton pillowcase,
All
don't
you just suck
tie
all
it,
that out.
don't use nothing satin. What does cotton do? It soaks
Suck out the
all the water
moisture.
away from your
Moisture.
hair. So
Yeah.
that's why you probably waking up with it hard the next day, because you've just basically slept all the moisture straight out of your hair. The cotton
Yeah.
pillowcase leaches every single drop of moisture out of your hair. So
Yes,
you
it
have to
does.
go back to it. For me, the hair typing thing, people always ask me my hair type. I have some zones. In the front, I get a little Indian girl on. In the middle, straight up Kenya, Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
You know, I have some spots in the middle of my hair. You laughing, but in the middle of my hair, I have some. So I kind of have to treat the zones differently. I know that
Yeah.
the front of my hair might.
I think she paused.
Okay, she was frozen. Okay, just to
Uh,
piggyback off of what she was saying, when it
Mhm.
comes to the moisture, like she was saying, oil is not moisture, which is correct. Oil is
Yes.
used as a sealant, like Kashia
Yes.
said. After you shampooed your hair, you've conditioned, you put in your moisturizer. Of course, you want to top it off with a sealant. Good sealant is a
Mhm.
castor oil. The castor oil is very good that you can use after your moisturizer. Coconut oil, jojoba, those are all good oils that you can use after you put in your moisturizer. Um, some people may have to moisturize their hair 2 to 3 times a week, like every other day.
Yeah.
That's not a problem. Even if you have in a twisted style like Miss Born Again Naturals has in, um, you can have a bottle with some water in it. You could mist it over your hair, and that's considered moist. You will retain moisture in your hair after you spritz the water over your hair. When you finish, put a little bit of oil and just squeeze it in on top, and you're good to go. There's your moisture. You can even use a leave-in moisturizing spray. You can
A
spray that over your
refresher spray.
style, and all of those things you can use. But the key is to definitely sleep in a satin cap or on a satin pillowcase in order to retain the moisture to your hair. If you don't, then every morning you wake up, your hair is going to be dry and
what
Agreed.
about the persons who said that, hey, I'm moisturizing every day, but my hair is still dry?
Well, there's a abbreviation that I like to use whenever I'm doing my own hair, which is WLOS. WLOS. So it's water, because water is the foundation, like Tara
Nutrition.
was saying, you need that water. Then it's a leave-in conditioner. So you apply the leave-in conditioner. I find that for my hair type, applying the leave-in in the shower whilst the steam is going is best for me. Because again, low porosity depends on your porosity. Then I would apply the oil. And that oil is sealing in that water and the liquid. A lot of people like to apply oil on dry hair. All you're doing is keeping dry hair dry. And then I will go in with my styler. And so by the time I'm done with that combination, I can actually keep my hair moisturized until from wash day to wash day. So, and then of course with the satin cap, but the problem is, again, you're not sleeping on your satin cap. You're using the oil before any other step. I mean, you could put the oil at any point in that abbreviation that you would like, but doing it in that method allows your hair to stay moisturized. It allows the ingredients in it to penetrate properly. And like Tara was saying, if you need to do a refresher, I always have a refresher spray. It has water, aloe vera juice, sweet almond oil in it. That's my go-to. Sweet almond oil, olive
I
oil, those
love it.
are my go-to
I can close
oil,
your
like
laptop.
castor oil, automatically. And I promise you that will keep your hair moisturized from wash day to wash day.
Any other questions, Krista?
Absolutely. Yes, so I saw another question in from Marlon, and he asked basically, how in the workplace is there still discrimination as to natural hair? Do people still, kind of shun you and have some kind of prejudice towards it? Are they saying that you need to wear your hair a certain way? Anybody want to elaborate?
I don't have that problem with
I
works. Feel
I
so.
could
I
jump
I
personally
don't have.
feel
Or do you have
I
evolved as a
personally
country, as a nation, as a world?
But
I can speak a bit
if you're
about
natural, you still have to have it well groomed or well kept. If
yes,
in certain
yes,
um, establishments, business establishments, you have to make sure
yeah,
that it is well groomed and well kept.
yes.
I,
yeah,
because
I could jump
I
in and
think
say
keeping
from
it
my
well grown is the
experience
key.
yeah.
is
Yeah.
that for guys, a lot of people, like I said before, tell us that we also need to be clean cut. Like I've had persons say jokingly that you need to get a haircut or anything like that in that regard. And it's for me, it's different because most people don't even feel as though I'm a professional, which I am. And I tell people that what kind of work I do, they're like, "Are you sure?" or whatever like that, and you get that stigma just off of having hair. Um, even right now to with the curfew as an essential worker on the road with the police officers, like, and I tell them where I work, they're like, well, what do you do there? And like I say, it's mainly based off of my hair because if I was clean cut in a suit, people wouldn't second guess to ask me these type of questions. But the minute I
Hmm.
started to grow my hair, I got those things going. So there is a lot of discrimination locally. I even have a friend who she's a female and she told me a story before how a guy told her that she looks good, but except for the natural hair.
Wow.
Um, and so it's out there. It's a lot. We live in a society that was formerly colonized. So a lot of the views are still of what person had to do years later. So it's just trickled down. But I think an appreciation is growing rapidly, and it's changing every day because people are now getting more confident in wearing their natural hair.
Yeah.
Uh, you know.
Hmm.
Any other
So
questions, Krista?
let me ask you guys. Um, yes, but let me ask you guys. So what constitutes to a hairstyle that's reasonable for the workplace? Because let's say the natural who wants to wear her hair in an afro, is
Mhm.
that considered professional or is that unkept?
She can.
Afro
Okay,
as
So
I
in
know
puff,
someone
typically,
like one of those high puffs, or like
or
she
like an
just
afro,
woke up
like
one
what she
day.
and
Because I feel like there are styles you can do for the work. Like this is a twist out. You can never
right
go wrong
yes,
with a twist
with a
out.
twist on.
What
no,
Renee has in her hair with flat twist, you could not go wrong with that.
Oh,
I
yes,
mean, I find it
or
hard.
wash
Like
and
just,
go. You can
just
do
do
you
a
can do
wash
afro,
and
but make
go.
it a wash and go. Yeah.
I don't
yes.
find much people. I've been in corporate for a while and I don't have any problems with hair. I think it becomes now when it's, I guess, as some people may say, not grown, but it depends on what you think isn't grown.
Right.
But I don't think HR is gonna pull you in
That's what I was trying to allude to. When
for
you're
a
wearing an
puff.
afro, I love my afro now. I love my puff. Y'all can see that. But some persons would look at an afro or wash and go kept because if you're real with yourself, by the time as your curls have already dried up, it's
Yeah.
tangly again because you're
Mhm.
else you can mess up your curls.
Yeah.
So some people may look at that and be like, hey, like that's unkept. So that's what I'm asking, like, what do you guys see as unkept versus kept pretty much? What do you see as a reasonable hairstyle for the workplace? And so y'all elaborated a bit on it. Wash and goes, twists, different things
Twist
like that.
out, flat
Any
twist,
other?
updos.
Rod
I
sets.
I do updos a lot. Rod sets,
Same.
braid.
Even
Perm rod
yeah.
set, braids out, twist out,
Hmm.
flat twist,
Twist.
bantu
Yeah.
knot.
In my honest
Hmm.
opinion, I don't feel as though there's any style that's proper any hair that's properly taken care of and grown is unprofessional. I just feel as though people have this whole asphyxiation on permed hair and perm styles. And so if it isn't something that fits into their narrative of what's professional, then
Look at
to
even
them
with
it's
locks, Travis.
Mhm.
I think I'm gonna agree with Travis here in that it's all about perception. You know, what someone or what HR assumes. First of all, I guess you have to kind of look at the guidelines for your work.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm in nursing, and so we can't have loud colors or what they term unnatural colors. So obviously, I shouldn't go to work with my hair green or purple. They consider
Purple.
that a natural color. It's not a color that would grow naturally from the scalp. Now,
Right.
as a black girl, I could put some blonde in. My hair right now is copper toned, and to them, it's a natural color. So that's
Yeah,
kind of like,
anything in the warm family is considered natural.
right.
Yeah.
So that, but in terms of it being kept, I've not encountered a whole lot of issues, and I've worn my hair in. Well, I just chopped. I just cut off a lot of my hair, but prior to this, I had a lot of hair, and I wore the fro to work. I wore the puff to work. I wore a mohawk to work, and so to me, I guess is how neat you keep it.
Yeah.
Just try to keep it neat for the most part. You're gonna meet, as I guess, for lack of a better word, adversary to you wearing your natural hair. That's a given. As much of a trend as it is, it's still not widely accepted in a lot of,
You
mainstream
should see when
jobs,
when I wear a
stuff
washing
like
look.
that. Flat out, I know that there are certain companies that don't allow their staff to wear braids, shingles, anything of that
I
nature.
know one or two of those. So let's.
Yes,
I know a particular bank that.
That's what I was talking about. You can't wear braids in a
bank. They
particular
actually have
bank.
it in their employee handbook about locks. You can't wear locks.
Or braids.
Yeah.
Right. So when you have these things in place, I do still want there to be kind of a push to say wear the natural hair, but you also have to know when to pick your battles.
Yeah.
So for me, if I worked in those atmospheres and I realized it's gonna come down to, I guess, keeping my job and being penalized over and over and over for what they term unkept hair, either we gonna have to have a little talk about you specifying exactly what is
unkept
hair. Because if I didn't fix it 6 different ways and all 6 different ways created a problem, it seems as if you have a problem with natural hair itself.
Yeah.
But do you
Because
know that
if I've slicked it in a puff, if I've worn a rod set, if I've had a twist out, if I've pulled it back into a neat ponytail, and you're still having a problem with my hair, it sounds like then that's a personal problem with you towards natural hair or maybe with me. So
just to say, some persons do have issues with natural hair, because I've been taught that, when your hair curly or kinky or whatever, it's not right. And so most of you may have had relaxers growing up. It's just the younger generation now, it's okay for them to wear natural hair to school. And so I was taught that when your hair wavy or your edges ain't slick, you don't look right. And so even when I was in primary school, I didn't get a relaxer till grade 6, and I was teased like, what, your mother need to get with it. And I was teased for it. And so you've been brainwashed to think if your hair is not curly and flowing, that means you're not pretty. And so even when I cut my relaxed hair, it took a long time for me to even accept my own the way I look with natural hair.
Yeah.
And so a lot of persons still suffer from that. A lot of persons may want to say go natural or wear natural hair, but they are just not comfortable with how they're gonna look. And so I think it's almost like we need to recondition the children so they grow up realizing, hey, it's acceptable to look that way. And so when they become an adult, then, we don't have to go with deprogramming, because you even have guys who would not date a girl with natural hair. And it's preference. So what advice would you give to someone who is thinking about wearing natural hair or locks, but they're worried about the stigma, or they have self-esteem issues, or they're thinking about, you know, how would it affect their professional career? What advice would you give to that person?
I feel as if natural hair is based on that person's lifestyle, to be honest with you, because in the salon I deal with natural and relaxed. I have relaxed clients that hair is past bar strap length. They have no issues. So I feel as if it's based on that individual person. So I feel as if too, with clients that are relaxed, a lot of people that is natural bash them also. And they're like, why are you still relaxing your hair? And why is this and why is that? And me being a professional, I've seen whereas the relaxers that are sold in the beauty supply store and the relaxers that are sold to professional is a big difference. And a lot of people doesn't know that. So they always say that the relaxer does this to your hair, the relaxer does that to the hair, but you can have natural hair and your hair still does not grow. So I said relaxed and natural is based on that person's lifestyle. That's how I feel. I feel as if your hair is destroyed by relaxer, it's the person who applied the relaxer. Because you have a lot of people that self-relax. And my clients have know for a fact. I'm not that type of stylist that says, go home and go relax your hair. You're gonna come to the salon and you're gonna get your hair relaxed professionally, because relaxer is touched to the new growth. It's not touched to the hair that is already straightened. It's not touched to the scalp. It's touched to the new growth. And in order for you to get a relaxer from me, your hair has to have a lot of new growth. I don't relax every 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks. I relax when I feel as if you have enough new growth for me to go in and relax the hair. So when you're natural or relaxed, I feel as if that's a lifestyle choice.
Yeah, if someone comes, hello?
Someone is asking about rice water. So have any of you used rice water? And what would be your take on that? Is there a benefit to it?
I love rice water when used properly. I don't think it's a magical thing where people using it for a week. Again, you go on YouTube, you see someone using it for a week. In a week, I got 7 inches of hair growth.
Lies.
It don't work like that.
Really?
Rice water is good. It has, if it's fermented properly and used properly, it can add back protein, or almost, it's not as strong as like hydrolyzed wheat protein or protein that you see in some protein treatments. It's not an alpha-G, but it does help strengthen your hair and can help with less shedding. But again, I don't think it's something that can be left on your hair. So if you're going to use rice water, it should be added in during your deep conditioning or your pre-poo stage, where it has enough time to sit on your hair, but not enough time, because after a while, I did have an issue where I fell asleep with it one time, you know, doing the natural thing where I left something on, I fell asleep. And the next morning, it was kind of hot. So that's not something I would encourage people to leave on your hair overnight. I also don't think that it can replace actual protein. So as for naturals, I know sometimes a lot of people are like, oh, I'm protein sensitive or this. Listen to me, you're gonna need protein in your hair, because natural hair, the follicle in it, hair itself, your hair strand
is made out of
protein.
Your hair itself is made out of protein. So you need protein whether you relax or natural.
Yes,
and certain shampoos that you use strip the protein from your hair shaft, so you have to replace that protein back.
Yes, but I find now a lot of them they're not doing protein treatments, and so you wondering why your hair is falling off.
Right.
But I'm not going to get into the protein of why.
I think a big thing for it too is that people don't understand that important fact there. You know, we tend to, like you say, look at the YouTube videos and get these things, but it's not explained the way that you guys are diving into it. Because even for me, I'm not thinking about, I just use any old shampoo or any old conditioner. I'm not thinking about adding protein to my hair or anything like that. I just know I need to shampoo and condition and just move on. See?
Yeah, if
That's
if
actually
I
Typical
if
man.
I if I could insert, I mean, for me, again, like I say, in the natural group that I'm in, I talked about the importance of your shampoo and conditioner and what it says on the label, because what it says on the label kind of tells you what
What
this
type of
set is
shampoo
gonna
this
do.
is? Yeah.
So if you see something that says fortifying, restructurizing, repair, that
Moisturizing,
is
yeah.
a protein-based shampoo and conditioner set. Its
Our audience
its goal is to repair the damage going on in your hair. For me, I had to learn it the hard way. For a long time, you couldn't tell me nothing about my hair. My hair was popping. My wash and goes was just all of that. And and then all of a sudden my hair was falling flat. It wasn't holding a curl. It just would
It
look
needs
dry
protein.
and brittle. And I had to go to do my research. Like I said, the chemistry behind it is what gets me. And I realized the conditioner and shampoo set that I was using was just both basically focused on protein. So I had no moisture being put into my hair other than the water that I was feeling in when I'm done.
So you have
So I had to
protein overload.
switch.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
I had to switch to a set that was focused on moisture. And so that's when I had to get into your hair needs protein and it needs moisture. Your protein moisture balance determines the health of your
Of
hair.
your hair.
Yeah.
You learn what
Yeah.
your hair needs by spending time touching or by going to a consistent stylist who knows your hair, who gets to know your hair. Either you're going to get to know your hair or your stylist is going to get to know your hair.
Yeah.
It's very good for
There's
both.
one
Because
other
when
thing
you
I'm going to say
communicate,
before we move on, guys.
mm-hmm.
One more thing. I noticed also, because my hair is obviously bleach and colored, as you can see.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of persons who have bleach and colored hair, just going to touch on this quickly, experience a lot of breakage and shedding, obviously because all of those protein bonds are being removed as you stripped it with the bleach. And I know for a fact I wasn't using protein. And I can tell you that my wash and goes, any hairstyle that I tried was super, my hair used to feel like hay. Like that's how dry it used to be. It used to be very fragile. It would break so easily. But I kid you not, the minute I tried something that said intensive deep conditioner that had the hydrolyzed proteins, I made sure of that because I did some research. My hair instantly snapped back into shape. But anyways, moving on. In going with this conversation about hair length retention and all that good stuff. Since some of you said, I know Chia, am I saying it right?
Yeah. Natural.
Natural.
Just go with it. Since you mentioned something about rice water not being as effective as other methods, what would you recommend as a more effective hair retention, hair length retention product, or maybe something that can help grow the hair quicker?
Okay, well, that's two separate things, because if we're talking hair length retention, you need a good regimen for hair length retention.
Yes.
So
and we spoke about that earlier.
Yeah, that's to me when I ask people, when people come, I want growth, I want length retention. Okay, we got to break it apart. You want length retention, you need to build a regimen. Growth now is on a whole nother scheme. It depends on how much growth, but I'll address the length. You want me to address the length retention? For length retention, you need a good foundation and regimen. And the thing with length retention is you can have as much new growth as possible. So for someone, you may be getting them 6, 12 inches a year, your hair might really be popping in the growth area. But every time you go to the stylist, you have so much split ends that by the time whatever new growth you probably done had in the year, it then got to cut off. You want focusing. In my book, I describe hair as a tree. And I always give the scenario to people. If they're an older person, a young male construction worker, and a toddler, and who needs a chair, who are you going to give the chair to first? You're going to give the chair to the oldest person. and your ends are the oldest of your hair. They are the oldest person. So you gotta treat them like the 60-year-old person who needs the chair. They need the most love
and attention
and care. Your roots, that's the construction male worker to me. They can keep going. They just come in, they new, they strong. They don't need as much love and attention as you would. And I find that people tend to apply so much product to the root of the hair.
Forget about the length
They
of
want
the hair.
the growth, but they're not focusing on the ends of their hair, which is the oldest part. So I always tell people, for length retention, you should really focus from the ends, moving from the ends to the root. So the ends of your hair need the most loving care, and then you could worry about your roots off, because at the end of the day, there are not much people who hair literally falling from the root. I know much people who will say, oh my gosh, my hair literally plopping out from my scalp. It's always the issue of, I have so much split ends. My hair always breaking, and it's breaking at that shaft where you're not taking care of your ends. And for those who, again, you're not trim, I can't, it really annoys me when people are afraid to let go. If your hair is damaged, let's say you've got it color treated or something, there is no reason you should be embarrassed to go to Tara or Shantara and get your ends clipped, baby, because the only thing split ends does, it keeps
it's climb up.
It keeps going up.
Hair shaft.
So
it doesn't just break off. Yes, it climbs up the hair shaft.
You don't want to trim your hair, but you want see 12 inches quickly. You want your locks long like that. Yeah. It can't work. You need to be able to let go. If the stylist, if Shantara was my stylist, she said after she's either relaxed my hair or styled, and she said, you notice, okay, an inch or two gotta come off. Oh, I know these people just go, they carry on bad. Oh, man, I think it could last. I think it could go a little longer. It can. You have to let it go.
And our viewers would like to, first of all, they want to find out who's on the panel.
Oh.
Hey, everybody, right quick, we have Simply Natural, and we also have Travis Sweeting, we have Chantor Roll, we have Bria, and we have Tara Miller from Metamorphosis. And the viewers are asking to have their questions answered. So y'all, let's get on these questions. We have a question about...
I saw a question, Renee, sorry. I saw a question on edging. Like, that's a huge thing. Somebody needs to talk on that.
On what?
How you save your edges, how you bring back the edges.
Castor oil.
Hairline.
Nothing to me, castor oil can fix
aloe vera.
And the reason
I feel sometimes too, people go and they use these oils, but they still is not getting rid of the product, what is costing your hair, the tension, the braids, the weave, the glue, all of that. You cannot say you putting castor oil on your edges, but you still braiding your hair down so tight. It's not going to work.
And
the
I
hair
have follicle is
damaged, so you need the hair to regrow, wait for a while, treat it, and then go back to your braids. But then you have to be careful
waiting for that.
Your hair.
They're not waiting. They let it grow back a little bit. You get little two edges come in, and you go right back to the braider.
Yeah.
Like, okay, now that I got a little something, let me go rebraid it. And you go right back to the same style that is taking out your edges time and time again.
And let me just say, sometimes it's hereditary. Okay, I have people walk up to me. I want what to do with my hair to get it thick like yours. Listen, in some cases, the thickness of hair is hereditary. It's based on your follicles and how densely packed your hair is in a square inch. I have densely packed hair. I have thick hair. So there's not a product that I don't know if any of you ladies know, there's no product I know that's going to change how much follicles you have per square inch of your hair.
Exactly.
In order for you to have the kind of density that I have. This is hereditary. Most of the women in my family have this kind of hair. Yeah. So when you find that your edges are a little bit on the thin side, you need to baby them. Because you realize that you already don't have a whole lot to start with, and then you're going to go ahead and apply so much tension. My best advice, you want the layered edges, you want the slick look, I tend to leave my edges alone, to be quite honest with you. Even if I'm getting them braided, I ask the braider not to really try to get them included. I'll lay them down with some wax or something later on. But I don't need you to snatch my edges, because snatching my edges can snatch them out. That's how I feel. So I tend to let my edges do their thing. If I put my hair back in a bun, well, when I had length for a bun, and halfway into the middle of the day, they then roll up around the edges, well, then I walking around with a little roll up around the edges. I'm not gonna go back at them to get them to lay flat, because I realize my hair type will not look perm slick. And I've accepted that. So a lot of natural hair is accepting what your hair will and will not do without heavy manipulation.
What about the persons who said, hey, I've tried castor oil, I don't wear weave and braids, and it's still not working? What's your suggestion for them? And their hair is still dry and their hair is still not growing and their edges are still thin. What's the other
massages, scalp massages?
I feel as if castor oil don't work by itself. I feel as if you need to put an essential oil with that. You could probably use like the rosemary
or peppermint.
Anything that's
oil,
gonna actually
open up the pores and allow blood flow.
Yes, but I feel as if because of the molecules and the castor oil is so thick, I feel as if you need something more penetrating to add with that castor oil.
Yeah, the castor oil is the carrier oil. So what you would put in the castor oil, you could use, like you said, the rosemary, you could use the thyme, you could use the eucalyptus, you could use
peppermint oil,
peppermint oil, all of that. And they are stimulants. So what that helps do is open up the follicles and help your blood to flow, and with your massaging and all of that, it'll help your edges to come back. And hopefully you don't have traction alopecia.
Also, go and see a stylist. I understand we trying to save money, and for the most part, I do care for my own hair. But when something I don't understand is going on with my hair, I'm going to find the person that went to school, that's invested time and energy into this. I'm a nurse, so I expect you to come and find me when it's something medical related, okay? I'm not above. I will sit in Tara chair and Santora chair. I will sit there and say, I done try everything, the aloe, the mayo, the egg, please tell me what is going on. So if you could set a little bit of money aside to go at least maybe twice a year to a stylist to have your hair properly evaluated, then you need to do that, because your hair loss or your thinning around the edges may need professional help. The products that they have access to may be what you need to get it going, and you're not going to be able to just walk into a store and buy those products.
And sometimes they could be medical related.
Sometimes you have to just kind of realize, hey, there's nothing that I'm doing at home that's going to fix this. I need to go and see a professional.
And then you got to think about stress as well. Stress is important. If you're stressed, your hair is going to be falling out. Peppermint and castor oil and everything else you're doing. You can massage, again, scalp massages are really good. It stimulates the blood flow to your scalp. But if you're stressed, if your diet isn't right, these are also things that could affect.
And if you're on medication,
I'm just about to say that,
dry out your hair and breakage.
Like pressure
medication. If you're on pressure medication, that's one of the number one causes.
Look at that. That just drew to the illustration of seeing the professional, like I said. I'm a nurse and I don't know that pressure medication can affect your hair that way. So do you see the difference? You see the difference of having the proper conversation with your stylist, because when you sit in the chair, nobody ever thinks that their stylist is going to ask them, are you on pressure meds? Are you taking any particular type of medication? These are the evaluations that you need to determine, because you could sit there with all of the YouTube sensations, the net sensations, all of your friends who then do this and that, and they could tell you everything in the world. But there's a bigger picture behind all of this that you guys are trained to look for. So take the time to see a professional.
There's another thing too for thinning edges. Sometimes clients just had a baby. 3-4 months, they had a baby, and
Yes.
and
Postpartum,
you're
yeah.
supposed to stay on your pre-meds up until your child is 1.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
just as how the
Yep.
baby is growing, your body is going through changes and trying to readjust. And one of those readjustments is losing the hair. So the prenatals have the vitamins in there to protect your hair from falling out, losing edges, and
Right.
all of that.
Basically, you've given the baby everything.
Exactly.
And so now you need to restock your stores of these things. And one of the first things is all of that bone building and stuff like that that you gave the baby took all the strength out your hair, your body, your everything. So that part of it, I know you definitely will experience breakage if you do not care for your hair postpartum.
Because I had quite a few clients like that. And like you said, the consultation is most important. And once we sit down in the chair, I have a list of questions that I go through. When you have balding spots, I have a list of questions that I go through. And as I go through them and you answer, then that will tell me exactly what the problem is. And most 5 out of 10 times, it was the client just had a baby and they are not taking their prenatals. So what I told them to do is go back on your prenatals. And if the child is 5 months, I say, okay, now you have to wait until the child is 15 months to come off these prenatals because you need that year back. You need that year. You lost 5 months already, so you got to add. Okay,
Tara, to tap into that, before you get off the balding spot, someone asked about chemotherapy, how they lost their hair. Is there any tips for persons who went through cancer treatments and stuff like that to grow back their hair?
Thing, my thing with the chemotherapy is once you have done your last round, then you can come in and start to do treatments. Because it makes no sense coming in whilst you're on that round to do treatments because it's not going to work. You only be wasting your money.
I've had clients who take chemo and their hair came back.
Yeah, your hair would come back after the fact. But during the chemo, it's impossible. It's best to shave it down and wear a wig or just wear a shave. I have clients who want their hair shaved and they wear a wig and then they come in, they get the wig style and then they go.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if anyone tells you guys you go during that,
I have a question from a viewer. He asked, should he just go ahead and do the big chop? Is he suffering from baldness, I'm assuming, or what we call male pattern baldness? So he's asking, should he expect natural remedies for that, or should he just chop it all off, get rid of it one time?
Ask him if it's hereditary. Does his father or his grandfather have balding in the same area? Or started balding in the same area?
Or sometimes it be where they wear a lot of hats.
Yes,
also.
hats too, yeah.
Cause the hairline to recede.
So
but can anybody speak to that? Have you ever experienced someone who had just natural balding, maybe because of just aging?
I had a cousin that had
and what remedies did you recommend to them and work?
Well, what they did was that they pretty much just grew out the sides because it would grow on the sides, but in the middle it would do. So they shaved in the middle and they just got a male unit to cover it and blended it with the sides, and that's how they wore it.
I feel as if first you have to do a consultation on a person and see if the hair follicles is still open.
Yeah.
Once the hair follicles is open,
you said male
it can go back.
Do you mean like a lace wig? Situation?
Yeah.
A lace?
Yeah. Yeah, you have man units. Yeah. You do have man units.
It actually looks like natural.
It looks really real.
Yeah.
No, I know people do it, but I didn't realize we started that over here.
Well, he flew to Fort Lauderdale to get it done.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, he flew to Fort Lauderdale to get it done.
Oh, okay.
So what about persons with alopecia?
He's actually looking to do the course so that he can bring it here because a lot of persons has been asking about it.
Right.
Well, I personally have some clients who have alopecia, and I have their hair on a regimen, on a Foley system. And so I do a lot of steaming on the scalp. I also use a lot of stimulant products on the hair itself. I also have like a machine that I use just to make sure that the blood is circulating enough in that area. And I have like different things that they could do at home and products they could use at home also. But again, if the hair follicle is open and you follow the instructions on using the
He's
product and
saying, sorry,
making sure you
he's
come in and
saying
get the
his
treatment stuff
condition
done.
is hereditary.
Sorry?
He's
I didn't
saying
hear
that
you.
the
Yeah,
male pattern baldness is hereditary, yes.
Oh, there's nothing he can do with that.
No, just cut it off,
Nah.
ball.
Yeah, he's gonna have to go completely bald.
Yeah.
Cut it off, Rob. Let it go.
Yeah, either that or he can do the man unit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Travis smiling at the man unit.
What about persons
Hey,
who are
females is well
asking
late.
about
I
getting
can't
thicker
mail.
hair?
Sorry?
Getting
What about persons
Sorry.
who are asking about getting thicker hair? I know that your hair, the size of your hair strand could be hereditary if you have fine hair.
right.
But what about persons, some persons, see, this is why consultation would be good, because you need to know if you just have naturally fine hair,
hair. Yeah.
like
If
myself,
you're,
or if
If-
your hair have the potential to be, because some people just want volume.
listen, if you have naturally thin hair, the only thing that can make your hair thicker is an oatmeal shampoo. That'll give you the appearance of thicker
Yeah.
hair or that volume and make your hair
Volumizing.
look like it's swollen.
Yeah.
Other than that, if your density
Right.
is
We
thin,
we actually literally just had this conversation.
Right.
There's not the
You have to
the
accept
thickness
what
of your
you-
hair is
Yeah.
based on how much hair follicles you have
you have
on your
Mhm.
head. So that's
Mhm.
the dent. I think we confuse thickness and density. Thickness is the
Mhm.
size of the
Right.
Yeah.
strand. Density is how
Yeah.
much hair on your
It's
head.
hair on your
So
head.
what they actually want is density,
Density
not
and not
necessarily the
thickness.
thickness of the strand,
Yes.
because the
Mhm.
thickness of the strand is a completely different thing. Density is genetically predetermined.
Right.
Like the stylist said, and I'm definitely not I didn't go all the way into the hair care for this, the courses that I did. But there's nothing that's gonna change that. There are things that just like when you do the eyebrows, your little tips and tricks to make them look
Right.
more arched,
Thicker. Mhm.
thicker, or whatever. The stylist knows how to make that happen for you. But it's unrealistic to expect them to suddenly make your hair thicker
Thicker.
when you're not genetically predisposed to that.
Exactly.
Sometimes
So
too,
I wouldn't let these products sell you a dream, because you're gonna see products claiming to do it.
Yes.
But they can't change how much hair follicles are on your
Put it
head.
on your head. Mm-hmm.
sometimes with the relaxed clients, the reason why their hair is so thin is because they're relaxing so quickly.
Yeah.
And so that is the relaxers basically taking all the protein out of the hair and making the hair fragile. So it doesn't necessarily mean that their hair is thin. It's just that they're relaxing so quickly. And most Bahamians say like their hair slick. So when you go in and you use these no relaxers, with the no relaxer having so much calcium inside of it, it's stripping the hair, it's making the bonds weaker. And so you start to experience a lot of shedding, a lot of breakage, and so then you end up with this thin hair. But if you ease up from relaxing so quickly, like some people like to relax every 4 weeks. Why are you relaxing your hair every 4 weeks?
Yes, that's true.
Because they want it to be slick. They
Okay.
want the slick dead look.
But I
Yeah, and
also think
I want
too-
to speak on I want to speak on that as well. The relaxer portion of it. A lot of stylists would relax a client's hair and tell them go and sit over there. You burning yet? Your hair burning. A relaxer is not supposed to burn. If you have fine hair, relaxer is supposed to be on from start to finish 15 minutes. If you have normal hair, start to finish 20 minutes. Thick hair, start to finish 25 minutes. When that 25 minutes is come, if you ain't sure when 25 minutes is, there's a time, you can purchase a timer, use your phone, use a stopwatch on your phone. When that alarm goes off, you take that client to the bowl and you shampoo that relaxer out. That's the problem a lot of females are having now, because they are being over processed with this relaxer.
Yeah.
So what
It
about
doesn't have to burn in order for you to say, okay, my hair take.
Yeah.
So what about persons who are interested in hair tips right quick before the hair tips for the children, our viewers want to know who they're watching again. So up top, we have Simply Natural Company. We have on the, well, it depends on how you view. We also have Travis Sweeting. He was the organizer for the Curly
I
Crew.
can raise your hand so everyone can know at this point.
The Curly Crew Festival. Then we have Shantor Roll for Hair and There Beauty Salon. We have Rhea from the 242 Natural Hair Group. So she's our rep from the Natural Hair Group. We have Krista Janelle. She's with Born Again Natural. And we also have Tara Miller from Metamorphosis Beauty Salon. And so our viewers also want to know some hair tips for, well, let's say two things. They want to know how to style your locks or take care of your locks during the lockdown. And then also, can someone shed some information on what we could do with the kids' hair now during the lockdown, you know, while we can't visit the salons?
I would say with the kids' hair, try to keep it moisturized. A lot of times too, parents like the kids to just go to bed with their hair wild out. I would say moisturize it, put it in some big, moisturize it, seal it, put some big twists or big braid or something. And if you can cover the hair and it stays on, if not, you could use a satin pillowcase to make sure that none of the oils or the moisture is actually absorbed onto the pillowcase. But I would say try to keep the kids' hair moisturized at this time. I wouldn't say do any type of braiding or anything. Let the hair be free. Let the hair just, you know, but keep it in some big twists so it'll be easier for you to go back in every 2 to 3 days to moisturize and seal those ends.
And Tara, can you help us with the info? Oh, well, and if you don't have a satin pillowcase, if y'all have a slip, you can always slip your slip over your pillowcase and that'll be the perfect satin pillowcase.
Yes.
Tara, give us some info for the locks, please, on how they could moisturize, how they could maintain, and if you suggest that they wash during this time, because we don't know how long we could be home.
Yeah, I suggest shampooing during this time, most definitely. You want to keep the hair as clean as possible. You want to shampoo. You want to use a light moisturizer, not a thick moisturizer or conditioner. You want to also use oil, of course, to lock in that moisture, like you said. You could spritz water over. Oh, depending on the length of your locks, when you shampoo, I would suggest using the drying off towel to dry your hair. Squeeze as much water out of your hair as possible and leave your hair open to air dry until it's completely dry. Or if you have a blow dryer or if you have a dryer that you can sit under, you want to do that. Reason being is because depending on the length of your locks, if you leave it closed up while it's still wet, it'll tend to smell like mildew. And you don't want, you don't want that scent caught up in your hair because it's really hard to get that scent out of your hair. It's really hard to get that scent out.
So what about persons who have said, we have persons who
sorry. And if let's just say it was about 4 weeks before you've had your retwist done, and now we're about 2 weeks into this lockdown, so this is about like 6 weeks now. And when you shampoo, of course, you're gonna, all of this new growth, some of the tightening that you had is probably gonna unravel. Don't worry about that. Just make sure to keep the locks separated. If you have to separate them and you hear a little tear, that's okay. But you don't want them to stick together, because if they stick together and we have much longer time to go and you're still shampooing, they're gonna eventually mat. And then once they're matted, you call them fingers. If your hair is strong enough, you leave them. If it's not, you're gonna have to clip one of those locks off. So you're gonna lose a lock.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah.
I learned something today.
And if you do know how to retwist your own hair, you don't want to retwist your hair dry. Make sure your hair is wet, and then you can go in and do your retwist routine. We don't want to retwist dry because it'll tend to cause breakage. You always want to make sure that the hair is wet and supple enough to do the palm roll or to do the finger twist. Okay?
So when they're twisting at home, how tight do they need to do it? Just enough that they don't have any matting, or do they need to, try to get as professional as you would do it?
No, it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be like a professional. And if you've twist it, and you get a buckle, or something that looks like a bantu knot, you know you've definitely done it too tight. So you just want it to look smooth enough, or smooth enough twist that can lay down, and then you clip down. That's it. You don't want anything that's too tight. You don't want your scalp bulking up. You don't want to look like you just had a facelift, none of that kind of thing. Okay?
All right, so for our viewers, you may have a particular question that you might want to ask Metamorphosis. So even at the end of the video, if you visit Born Again Naturals page, we're going to have a link to all of the panel persons. You may have a specific question you want to ask that person about your locks or about a deep conditioner. And so we're going to have those links available so that you can ask the person, just in case we may have unintentionally overlooked your question. So we're going to put that there so you can reach out to the persons afterwards. So with Travis.
Can I say one last thing? Sorry.
Yes.
With the locks, please do not attempt to interlock your hair. Please.
I don't know what that means.
Don't attempt during this.
What does that mean?
They know what that means.
That you watch a YouTube video and you attempt to interlock your hair. Please don't.
Can they color their locks during the?
No.
Interlock is it's a way
coloring.
of. I'm sorry.
Could they color their locks during this time?
Why?
Listen.
Boy,
Basics.
Y'all trying to give Tara a seizure.
Basics.
Yes, just stick
No
to the
color.
basics. You have locks?
Keep it moist.
Yes, keep it clean, keep it moist, keep
You
it
try to
covered.
be
Do not
greedy.
use any heavy products like wax, petroleum jelly, gels. Do not use any of those heavy products in your hair. Because it's very hard to get out of when you do go back to your salon for them to shampoo and clean your hair. It's gonna be a lot, and that mucky look on locks is not cute.
No.
And for all the
And
viewers
also,
out there,
please don't brush your edges. Because remember now, a brush is just like a comb that detangles the hair. So if you're brushing your edges with the locks, it will take out the hair that is already locked. And then it will cause the root of your lock to be thin. So you don't want to do that either. Okay? All right. Yeah, I think that's it.
for our viewers out there, do not attempt to color your hair. I know this is a perfect time to get creative and get funky with the hair color, but it's also the worst time because if something go wrong, ain't nobody there to help you. Do not attempt to color your hair, no matter
No box style.
natural or lock.
Listen to me. Let me tell y'all a little story. I end up with an Elmo. You see the color of Elmo? I end up with an Elmo, fooling around with them box color, not knowing what I'm doing. Don't end up with an Elmo. Leave that coloring alone. This color I have in my hair is the result of the professional color washing out.
Yeah.
Leave it alone.
The box color is not true.
Word to the wise.
Yeah.
Leave it alone. Okay.
All right. So we also, Krista, we get any additional questions?
Oh yes, you know it. I'm gonna keep up with everything. So we already talked about hair growth, hair retention. Somebody asked a question about what is a great detox for your scalp. She said she has used apple cider vinegar. Is there any others you can recommend?
I recommend bentonite clay. I'm a big fan of clay washes. I do them at least once a month. A clay wash will detox your hair, and if you're natural, you want to see your curls pop, try a clay wash. And it's a simple 1-to-1 ratio of bentonite, 1 cup bentonite, 1 cup of apple cider vinegar. And I add a little bit of olive oil or sweet almond oil in it, just because sometimes bentonite by itself can be a bit drying. But bentonite clay is a great way to detoxify your hair. Sometimes I get fancy, I add a little Rasul clay, but you know, that's me. Those are great ways to detox your hair. Or if you want, you could just do an apple cider vinegar rinse on its own. But I highly recommend the bentonite clay because yes, you're shampooing your hair sometimes. And for those, we already talked about this way earlier with the co-wash. Y'all gotta stop with this co-washing. But shampoo, it could only cleanse your hair so far, especially if you're only using a moisturizing shampoo. Because I think Tara talked about it, where some people are not using clarifying shampoo.
Fine shampoo, yeah.
You have so much buildup already, but the clay wash would be very good to implement into your regimen. And again, you can make it yourself. It's a simple 1-to-1 ratio.
Yeah.
I like detoxing the scalp also with sugar and honey, and I put a little bit of aloe vera juice inside of it, and just basically scrub that client's scalp, especially like people who's coming out of a weave or coming out of braids, and then I'll put like a steamer on their hair and let that just steam for maybe like 7 minutes. That's a good way of how to detox if you don't have any bentonite clay. Yeah. That's excellent on the scalp.
Okay.
Oh, and another thing too, another good thing the ACV wash is good for is clients who have itchy scalp or they have excessive dandruff problems.
Yes, it's really good for dandruff.
Yes, so you would use the ACV, same thing. What I usually do is 2-to-1. I use 2 ACV, 2 parts ACV, 1 part water, and I would spray it on the scalp, and then I would massage it in a spray down the hair strands. I would put a cap on and let the body heat work, leave it on for about 15 minutes, and then I'd go take them to the bowl and shampoo with the clarifying shampoo. And that really works. It gets all of the dandruff off of the scalp and also out of the hair strand, because you know, even sometimes after you shampoo, the dandruff holding on to the strand.
And I like to do some hot oils too on the scalp also. With the steamer.
Hot oil treatment.
Yes.
Speaking of hot oil, well, oils in general. So I've been meaning to get to this topic, coconut oil. Now, a lot of people find this so controversial. So many people find this so controversial. Does it work? Doesn't it? Does it not work?
For me, for my client, I have a love and hate. I feel as if coconut oil works on some people, but it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody.
No, it's not.
I personally like oil. I like products that has coconut oil in it that can actually shampoo out. But when it comes to using coconut oil itself, I do not like it personally. That's just me. But I tell clients to listen to their hair and see how their hair reacts. Because for some people, coconut oil could dry out their hair, give them itchy scalp, put inflammation on the scalp. So I feel as if you listen to your hair and see how your hair reacts afterwards, then you could go and continue using coconut oil. But coconut oil is not one of the best oils out there. You have other better oils. Like my favorite is sweet almond. I love that.
If you're using
that's my favorite.
If you're using the coconut oil, it has to be that real organic.
Yes.
Not the fractionated one.
Not the ones that then been through all kind of processes.
Organic, they have problems.
Refined and all of that kind of thing. The coconut oil has to be real organic, and I like it for it's a good oil to control frizz.
I think too people are applying the coconut oil on dry hair. I think coconut oil got such a bad rap because it was being applied to dry hair, and we already talked about that. And oil is a sealant, and you can't add oil on dry hair.
Right. For me, I like jojoba oil because jojoba oil is most closely related to the natural sebum.
So it's all penetrating oils. Yeah.
Oh, my go-to mix is jojoba. I add a little bit of the castor oil just to give it a little bit of weight, and sweet almond. That's my go-to mix. That's normally what I seal my hair with.
Y'all tell everybody where you get your oils from too.
I bulk order on Amazon simply because to me I get more for my money. Okay, I get a big bottle of sweet almond oil for like 10 something, and I'm gonna pay that for about 6 ounces here. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
But also with bulk ordering, don't order more than you can use in about 3 months. These oils have a shelf life. They go bad. They will go rancid. and then you
Mhm.
basically just damaging your hair after they've gone bad by putting them in. So
Mhm.
I order in bottles that I know in about 3 months I'm gonna be
I'll
down
be
to
able
that
to use.
much,
Mhm.
and I need to do another order. So me switching from coconut oil had nothing to do with allergies or inflammation or anything. It was okay for my hair, but like Shantoya said, it was not the best thing. I
It's not the,
tried
yeah.
other
There's so
oils and
many
I
other good
realized,
oils out there.
right, I
And I
realized that
feel
my
as if
hair was
too,
responding so much better to jojoba and the sweet almond
yeah,
that I just
yeah,
never switched back. Occasionally I add in vitamin E. Like I said, you're gonna learn. It's a learning process of learning what your hair needs, when your hair needs it,
yeah,
and when you need to remove some component of what you're doing and when you need to add some component of what you're doing. Even seasons change the needs of your hair.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
So
And
what
to be
about
honest with
gray
you,
hair
I
and
feel
hair?
as if
Sorry.
What about
I
persons
feel
are asking about gray hair, how to reduce it, how to maintain it, how to take care of it, and now during the lockdown, should you dye it at home? So before we get to
Listen.
the dye,
No, we just say no.
no
Listen.
box
Let
dye
me
at home,
let me
no box,
Ain't nobody
please,
can see you with the
no
gray
box
hair.
dye.
let me
When it
let me
comes,
get all together now. Let me get them together, my great people. Okay.
how to
If
take
you
care of it first.
are
Don't route him yet. Tell him how to take care of it.
oh,
I
okay,
feel as if
gray
clearly it's
hair
asking
needs
Take
about
care
all
of
the
the
gray
experiences.
to take care to, well, of course, gray hair is excessively dry, um
Yeah,
because it's lost its pigment and all of that kind of thing. Now you would use products that are specifically for gray hair,
yes. And
that
products
as
that are
well.
clear.
Yes, and shampoos that are white that don't have that yellow tint,
Yes.
pure white shampoo, and also the shimmer lights, the clear oil shimmer lights. That's a good one to keep the gray shiny, but you don't want to use it excessively because it tends to tint the gray and turn it, that lavender purple color. So you don't want to use that excessively. I would say maybe
Yeah.
once a month you can do a shimmer lights wash shampoo just to make your grays vibrant, and then continue with your moisturizing shampoo, your conditioner, and of course your oils and all of that kind of thing. um, Also, when it comes to the coloring of the gray hair, especially those who like to color the gray hair black, no color is going to last in gray hair longer than 2 weeks. You would see at around, especially around the hairline and the roots of the hair, the grays are going to pop up because, of course, your hair is growing. And then, of course, the hairline, you're always washing your face. So whatever you're using to wash your face is stripping the color off of the hair, hence the gray showing. I have clients who have the mascara, who have the coloring lipstick, all of these kinds of things. I feel if you are 70, I would even 70% gray,
Embrace it.
embrace it. 60%,
So,
embrace it.
Madam Mark, I have a question for you. So you're saying even if you permanent box dye, that it still wouldn't last your hair long, even henna.
It still won't last. It still won't last long.
No,
No. I've used henna. I've used Beijing. I've used Dark and Lovely.
It
I've
didn't
used
last. Wow.
Revlon. All of them, and that's with the
I
clients that
feel
are
as if
natural.
too. I feel as
I've
if
used
too. If you have gray hair and you have color, you have to use a shampoo specifically for color treated hair. Because when you're using regular shampoo, it's gonna actually strip that color out of your hair. When you shampoo with hot water, it's gonna strip the color out of your hair. So you gotta be careful of what you're doing at home, what products you're using on your hair, so your color could prolong if you want to cover the grays.
No, but the grays cover, mind you, it stays on the ends, but it's the roots.
Yes, but the
Because
roots,
the roots still come up. So,
yes.
So can you someone is asking, can you slow down the growth of gray hair?
No.
No.
Not to my
No.
knowledge.
So
If we figure that out, we'd be rich, right?
Unless you could slow it down, cut it off. Yeah.
She
Alright,
she
so
touched
Go ahead.
No, I say she touched on the right thing. Maybe you need to embrace it. You know, I know some people will say that their hair don't gray pretty, or they don't have that pretty silver gray. They have that yellowish gray or whatever. But if your hair is at least 50% gray, the majority of it is gray, you fighting a battle with time now. And all you could be doing is just back and forth with coloring, back and forth with coloring. So you can either make up your mind to embrace the gray or make up your mind to be on a coloring schedule with your stylist to get the color put back in on a regular basis without damaging your hair. Because if you take on coloring your hair at home every 2 weeks, you're going to break it off. I don't care how good you think you are at coloring your own hair. If your hair is gray, it's already fragile. It's in a fragile state because it doesn't have the melanin in it that gives it its structure and protection. That's what hair color does. And so it's already weak from the core. You're going to break it off constantly coloring it. So come to an agreement with yourself and your stylist that we either can embrace this gray or we could be on a strict schedule to color it and not to color it yourself at home.
So
and like if you want to embrace your gray, but it's of a yellow tone, like I said, the Shimmer Lights purple, the purple shampoo that they would call it, will take that yellow cast or that yellow tone off of the gray hair. So you will have the silver gray that you're looking for.
So my question would be with persons with, because the first thing with gray hair, the gray hair started because the hole or the follicle, the hole got large, and when the hair strand comes out, it comes out white. So there's something that you really can't even do much about.
No.
That's just how it is. So my question would be, how Rhea is saying, get to the stylist once a week, every 2 weeks to cover it up. Is there an adverse reaction, or is it a bad thing to be dyeing your hair, because Born Again Naturals is about using natural products, and we advocated because sometimes there could be issues related to you using a dye on your hair or your scalp every week, every night, so what about that? Do you think that is it bad for somebody to be dyeing their hair that frequently?
That's why I said a regimen. Your stylist knows exactly what regimen would be best based on how your hair is reacting to what they put in it. You can't expect to, every time the smallest gray pop up, you just had your hair colored maybe 8 days ago. And you get 2 little strands showing and now you want to run to the stylist, the colorist again. No stylist I know is going to color your hair that fast.
No.
They're going to flat out tell you, well, if you want to touch it up with one of them mascara things or whatever, then by all means.
Feel free, go ahead.
Feel free. But I'm not going to go ahead and put your hair through a chemical process every 8 days to preserve, I guess, the aesthetics. And you're going to find that it's not going to be worth it for your hair in the long run if you take it into your own hands.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I basically use semis on my clients that are gray. And that pretty much lasts longer in the hair than the semis, and it's not as harsh as the permanent. For my naturals, I tend to use the henna in their hair. Because most natural, they like to keep their hair, some of them I should say, like to keep their hair to that dark shade, maybe like a brown. So I'll tell them the benefit of using the henna into the hair because the henna does make the hair much thicker. But for my gray clients that are relaxed, I use all the naturals. I use the semi color on the gray.
Okay, persons are asking, so Shantor, I need you to give me a protective style that persons can wear at home now that won't pull out the edges. And Keisha,
talking about wearing braids, and she down. I have braids in.
So somebody is asking about what protective style can they wear, because I have my hair in a little flat twist.
Yeah.
That's a lazy style for me. It's perfect. I don't have to really comb this, once a week because we ain't going nowhere. So what protective style?
I would say you have styles like the twistles, you have the bantu knots, you have the braidos, you have the flat twist, you have even the big spiral sets if you want to do that in your hair. Just making sure that you keep the scalp itself cleansed, because in order for you to have healthy hair, the scalp needs to be cleaned properly. And then you want to make sure you moisturize the hair. You're not going to work. I mean, if you're still taking conference calls and stuff like that, you could still go ahead and do like your twist outs and your wash and goes and stuff like that. But they are basic, easy hairstyles that you could maintain whilst we are in this lockdown.
Okay, Simply Natural. Someone is asking, so we're at home and some beauty supply store are technically non-essential, although we know that's essential for us, but they don't think it's essential. So what can a person make at home or use at home, or what's a suggested product that it wouldn't cause damage? It will probably assist them in moisturizing, or I guess just taking care of your hair until we get out again.
Well, I would recommend using your stash, which you have already, because more than likely
you got a stash.
You don't really need to go to the beauty store. If you just open up that bottom cabinet underneath your bathroom, you would see that you probably have 10 products in there already. So one, use your stash, which you already have. Protective styling, like Shantara said, I would recommend, of course. My hair is only out because of this conference, because of I want you to know my hair is always in twist or braids during this lockdown, because I'm not going anywhere. I'm not seeing anyone. I will undo the twist sometimes to moisturize it. And the thing I love with twists and braids is you can moisturize your hair with them in. So but the key for that right now when protective styling is to keep your hair hidden, but not hidden. So what I mean is, and I have a problem when people think protective styling is just wigs. You don't need to have a wig on to protective style. And if you have that wig on, you don't need that on for 3 months and you ain't taking care of your hair underneath the wig.
A little louder for the people in the back.
It doesn't work that way. And we go back over and over again. You could wear your wigs, but you have to take care of your hair underneath that wig.
Yes.
So right now, I would say use your stash, what you have. If you don't, again, I am currently sold out, but we are Born Again Naturals here. We have small companies, Bahamian owned and run, that have natural hair products available that are, I'm hoping, doing products during this time. And so if you don't have those, if that's not an option for you, if you don't have anything in your stash, which I think is very unlikely, because I'm pretty sure you got something underneath the bathroom cabinet, then you could get creative and start using stuff from the store. I am a big DIY person. So the avocados, the bananas, all the oils, you have the same extra virgin olive oil that you buy in the store can be used on your hair. You could do a hot oil treatment. You could do a homemade treatment. You had honey, you have yogurt. These are things you can use on your hair.
So give them a quick recipe with honey, I guess. Something like DIY deep conditioner or something like that.
Okay, if you want a simple DIY deep conditioner, you could use honey. You could use your favorite oil. I must sit there and repeat these oils 3,000 times. My faves.
Almond.
So, sweet almond, olive oil, avocado oil. There's so much oils. Everybody probably have a growth oil. That is my number one seller. So I know everyone over there have a growth oil in their cabinet. We as Bahamians naturally have oil. I'm not saying do not go putting vegetable oil in your hair, because I did have someone DM me that and I was like, don't do it. That's not an option. We're not cooking our hair. We are preparing.
Seriously?
I think the easiest for persons to have would be probably olive oil.
So these are things you could do.
Coconut regularly.
My recommendation, I did DIYs, and what I found when I tried the banana is very good for your hair. I love banana, but the pieces stuck in my hair. So now what I did is I used baby foods, simply because they're pure. Most of them is just the fruit pureed with a little bit of water, and it might have some vitamin C in it as a preservative. They're already pre-blended. It's like $1 something for 2 Gerber banana baby foods. I use that as my base. I add in a healthy dose of some conditioner, my favorite oil. I put that on my hair. I let it sit,
I just
and I'm
mad
good
that
to
you
go.
put baby food on your hair and you didn't eat
But
it.
you could still use the banana, but you're gonna need to strain it. So when I do I
Yeah,
do
mine too.
avocado banana mix sometimes where I do avocado, one banana, a little bit of coconut milk in
Now
there.
that sound good.
Coconut
That
milk,
sound
olive
good.
oil, and then I just put it in the blender
Yeah.
and then I put the strainer over it just so it can
Okay.
catch any little seeds from the banana and sometimes the chunks of avocado that may not have blended properly.
Blended.
And when you're done, you
Okay.
have a smooth mixture. Let me tell
Okay.
you, an
That's
avocado
what I
mix,
did wrong. I
that
ain't
avocado,
strain.
you don't strain. I did that before when I first went natural. I had my mom be picking out all type of banana pieces out my hair. We used to have all night. But that is a good mix. Avocado, a can of coconut milk, or like half a cup, honey, olive oil, whatever your favorite oil is, that sit on. Don't go into the dry, baby. That's number one. That's an important step to make because then you will really bake your hair and you have a problem. These are things that don't need the dryer. If you're gonna do a lot of homemade DIYs, you
Don't
just
need a
use
dryer.
Your
natural
body heat.
for
Yeah.
them because if you're
And
going to the dryer
your
with
super
fluid,
value bag if you still have one.
yes. So there are so many DIY recipes that you can use. I'm not a fan. You can do the mayo, but I don't consider mayo and egg
A
protein
proper
treatment
protein.
because the particles in egg is not small enough to absorb through your hair. So you could do the mayo because again, all mayo is oil and fat. So that fat you could put moisture back into your hair. But don't confuse it as a protein treatment.
I think Siobhan Sherman asks about how to store.
Use right away.
Most they are used right away, or if you made some extra, maybe if you wash your hair every 5 days or so and you put it in the fridge, or maybe if you put it in the freezer, you may be able to get another use out of the little bit that's left over. But mix what you need when you need it because they don't have shelf stable preservatives in it
You
like
can
the
freeze
products
them
that
for at
you
least
buy.
3 months, but that's about it. After the third month, I wouldn't recommend. If it's frozen, if it's in the fridge, you need to use it within that week or two because avocado is something that's get brown really quick. Hair is something that gets
It will
brown.
change the color.
So Travis, what suggestions do you have for our guys and hair care on the lockdown? Because we can't leave our guys out. What suggestion you have for them?
I can tell you what I did. I went and I got my hair braided 2 days ago.
Smart man.
Yeah, because naturally, if I'm not wearing twist up, I do like a wash and go. For some reason, I just like to wet my hair and play with it. I guess that's why I wasn't growing as much as it could. But in this lockdown, you can definitely braid your hair or twist it to keep it going while you're on lockdown.
So is there a question or is there a thing as doing too much to your hair?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Over manipulation.
Manipulation. Yeah.
Before we elaborate on this, because I think it kind of relates to it. So on that thought of doing too much to your hair, relate that to us as it relates to heat, how much heat should you use and how often you should be washing your hair. Basically the whole regimen, how often you should your hair, how often you should condition, use heat.
Well,
I mean, I think that's kind of a personal thing.
Then
not necessarily.
Which one?
Not necessarily when it comes with the heat portion of it. I don't feel like you should have a silk press every time you go to the salon. I feel like a silk press should be done if you want to do a length check, or you want to do a trim. Some people want.
Maybe.
Sorry.
Special occasion.
Yeah, special occasions.
I think he gets right now.
If you and even if you're blow drying for a twist out, you can always blow dry on medium heat. It doesn't have to be hot.
Right.
You understand? So you can gauge the temperature on the blow dryer when you're doing the blowout for your twist out.
I think. Go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead, honey.
I think with heat, it's like when you do it again, I draw the illustration of I did silk presses and stuff on my hair at home. My flat iron and your flat iron do not get to the same temperature, okay?
True.
So my at-home flat iron versus your professional flat iron, I have to do multiple passes. If I do multiple passes, pressing my good hair through them blades over and over, and on top of that, I've basically put on coconut oil. What does oil do in heat? It cooks. What do?
Frying your hair.
You cook your hair.
Frying.
And you
frying.
damage your hydrogen and your salt bonds in your hair, and so your curl does not come back.
No.
So you have to be careful
So you're
with heat.
saying that oil should not be used for heat protection?
You shouldn't use those kind of oils.
Kind
not
of
in my
oils for heat
opinion. Just
protecting.
coconut oil will
So
cook
what
your
are
hair.
some
There
things
are
you can use
specific
as
heat
protectant?
protection products.
You have heat protection products that you can use. You can spray on the hair, and you can do that when you blow drying. I usually use my heat protectant just before I blow dry, and then I would blow dry, and that will so of course seal the hair, and then I'll go over and flat iron. And when my clients go to shampoo the hair, or days later, the hair automatically reverts. Sorry?
What
I know
about
for
actual
me,
recommendations?
You could stretch your hair without heat. There's a bonding method where you can use stringies, and you separate in sections, and you pull, and then you bond as you go. You could also if you ever notice, if you've done twist or braid back, eventually your curls will loosen up. So
loosen up.
Those type. I think heat gets a bad rep when it's not done properly, because I tell people I use heat every week because I'm using heat to deep condition. I need that heat to deep condition my hair. I think heat comes bad now when you feel like, even if you're natural, you need to blow out your hair every week. For why? For what sake? I don't know.
But that's indirect heat. So there's a difference.
Yeah.
But for me, I do a lot of silk presses or silk out, as you say. But my silk out agent start from the shampoo. So by the time as I reach my flat iron part of it, I could actually turn on the dial of my flat iron to maybe 275, 300. And then some clients that I have, because their hair might be a 3B, I don't have to blow dry their hair. I could actually roll aside their hair, put them underneath the dryer, and then I can go in with a flat iron. But sometimes a lot of people feel as if the flat iron is what gets the hair straight. No, it has to start from the shampoo bowl, making sure that you're using the proper products to actually soak in the hair itself. It's not basically just a flat iron, because by the time you get, for me, when I get to the flat iron stage, your hair is basically almost straight. Yeah. So I depend on my products, not really my flat iron. And when you're doing silk out, you don't want to actually apply oils when you're going to actually apply a flat iron, because you're going to actually burn the hair.
Exactly.
So you
could put that oil on when you're done the hair. Put them when you wrap and put them under the dryer to finish seal and get that shine. Then you can put the oil there.
That you're using, the products that you're using to give that person a silk out, it has to be able to protect the curl pattern. You cannot go and use a swab shampoo and do a silk press. It doesn't work like that. You have to use a product that is specifically for that actually protects the curl pattern. So when the person the hair goes back to natural, not with no heat damage, not with some parts straight, some parts still curly. So I think that's a good information people need to know when it comes to doing silk presses. It's the product. It's not the flat iron, because people feel as if, okay, I didn't wash my hair at home. Can you press my hair? No, I don't do presses. I do silk out. So I depend on my products, not my flat iron. So by the time I use that flat iron in your hair, I could put that down to maybe 200, 275 and give you a flat press.
Yeah. And with the deep condition, I think you can deep condition once every 2 weeks, 4 weeks. And the ACV wash, I usually say 3 to 6 months, depending on your product regimen and what you do.
Yes, I agree with that. I feel, because for me, I wash my hair every week, every Saturday. 8 a.m. 9 o'clock
Me
when I
too.
wake up, I wash my hair. But that's because I use heavy stylers. I'm always
Mhm.
So
applying
if you
oils to my
work
hair.
out, how often
I
do you
work out.
recommend people
If you work
if they work out? Yeah.
every week.
I say once a
When
week.
I was
every week.
when I was working out, I my regimen for my hair is about 5 to 7 days, depending on what I did with my hair after I washed it. If I worked out and I felt my hair
Yeah,
got
it's all kind of
really
funky
sweaty,
after.
is when I would co-wash.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
am completely
There you go.
with Simply Naturals with the whole you ain't going months without shampoo and sis. Okay, it don't work that way. It's not good for your hair.
Yeah.
I co-wash when I need to reset my curl pattern or whatever after I've had a
Already
thorough
cleanse your
shampoo.
hair. Yes.
Right.
So if I had a
You
really
co-wash
sweaty
with
workout in the gym,
conditioner, or do you
co-wash.
co-wash with an actual wash?
I
Okay.
use
Because
I
that's a
use an
controversy
actual
there too.
co-wash product. The co-wash product I have
Okay.
is an actual
Because
co-wash
co-wash
product.
still have some sort of cleansing agent. If you
Right.
use a
Correct.
co-wash product, it
Right.
still has
Right.
maybe like sodium
Yes, it does.
Digoxylate.
It has a little bit
Right.
of
has
cleansing
something in
agent
it.
in it.
Your
Yes.
conditioner is not a
A
co-wash.
co-wash. No, it isn't. No.
Right.
And so I bought a product
That
specifically for that.
So
Yeah.
what someone is asking,
But even still,
go ahead.
even still with the co-wash, even though it has some sort of cleansing agent in it, do not again mistake the co-wash for your
Correct.
It's a
regular shampoo routine.
Exactly. It's not a replacement.
It's not a
It's
replacement for it.
like I said, it's an
Like if
interim
you work
solution for me. That's all.
right, because like she said, she
Not
does
only
a
you,
gym.
that's in general.
In general, like if you have a heavy workout schedule, you work out every day. At your third workout day, okay, you want to do a co-wash, and at the
Right.
sixth day, you want to do your shampoo.
Correct.
Yeah, so that's what a co-wash is. It's just to kind of make your scalp feel a bit better, because sweating and all of that can make your hair hot. Okay, so you would want to cleanse the scalp just so your scalp can breathe. So you use the co-wash then, and then when it's time for your regular shampoo routine, you use your regular
Full shampoo. Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are wrapping up now. It's shortly after 9, but
What?
yes,
Oh,
we've
wow.
been here for a while. So in closing, can each person give a tip that you think would be most essential to a healthy hair habit, or what you think that persons can do during this lockdown? So I guess share one tip that we have not said all night, or one final conclusion or wrap up. Each person could share a point that you think would be the best takeaway from this session for persons either relax or natural. Just grab a tip and let's get sharing.
Okay. I want a tip. Okay, let me do this tip. This is for my
Okay, so 1 minute then. It don't have to be one tip.
Okay.
This one is especially for my wig cap wearers. The ones that you take on and put back on, take off and put back on. You want to shampoo, you want to condition. Underneath the weave, I would like for you to please braid your hair down underneath that weave cap. Most times I would see girls, they just pull the hair back in one, and then they put the cap on, and then they go. It would be better for you to protect your hair, braid your hair down. You can grease your scalp, you can use your moisturizer, use your oil, any one of those things. But at night, when you get home, when you take it off, when you go to bed, you wear your satin cap. You get up in the morning, you do your regular routine, and then you go. Sometimes if you're sweating underneath there, get your witch hazel. If your scalp is feeling a bit itchy, get your witch hazel cotton pad and clean your scalp. And then you can still add your oil and your moisturizer, and you're good to go until your wash day. That's one. And for my ladies who are natural, your home, the twist out, this I love your twist braid. Born Again, Renee. I love your flat twist braid. Styles like that, they're cute. She has her earrings in. You have on makeup?
Yes.
Curl that skin anyway. Okay, well, she has on very light makeup, but she has earrings on, and her hair is flat twisted, and she looks cute. She's presentable. I love it. There's nothing wrong with it. So styles like that, not only can you wear it home, but you can also wear it out without a problem or have people looking at you funny.
Yeah.
You understand? So things like that you can do. Yeah, that's. I think I didn't pass my minute. Go ahead.
I guess to piggyback off what Tara said, I will make tip for 1 minute. I would love people to learn the importance of deep conditioning. Deep conditioning is not a 5-minute thing. Deep conditioning is allowing your products to sit on your hair. You really have to go back to the old school maintenance, the way you used to go and need to dry, you let your products soak in, sit into your hair. I want people to understand the importance of having patience and consistency. This is not a this is not a sprint, this is a marathon. Natural hair takes time. Your hair alone, you will need to learn it. And stop trying to make things work for your hair that your hair is telling you it does not like. I'm an advocate of reading your ingredients, learning what your hair likes. If your hair, like my hair, it loves shea butter. When I look on the back of a product, I will make sure some ingredients on there that my hair loves. Also, don't believe in the hype. Everything that comes out, you don't have to try. Rice water is a tea rinse. I see people at one point putting vapor Vicks on their edge. It's too much stuff. Go back to the basics of a good shampoo, a good deep conditioner, learning how to properly moisturize your hair, either with the lock method or the LCO method. Low manipulation styles. Stop putting tension on your hair. Some of these braids, you have every month different style. Your hair, I mean, as thick as my hair is, I don't even do that because I know your hair can only take so much. And again, consistency. You can't do something once and expect things to work right away. It's a consistent regimen. So whether that means building that regimen home or building it, giving your trust to your stylist, that's important. And you have to stick with it. You will see results, but it's not going to happen right away.
Overnight.
So someone is asking, how frequently can you oil your hair? And someone is asking, what is the proper technique for a wash and go or a LCO or LOC, depending on.
Charmaine wants me to address that. I'll answer that when I get my minute.
Okay.
I'll answer her question about my wash and go.
And I'll share how I do my wash and go as well.
All right, so you could go, Travis. Go on.
Yeah, okay, good. So this is my minute. But I would say for the lockdown to try and keep low maintenance styles that can carry you through, because we don't know how long this is going to play out for. So braids, twist out, anything that could just help you to not have to mess with your hair too much, and then you could just tie it down when you go to bed. When you get up, if you have to go, just take it off, put some oil or leave-in. Like I use a lot of body spray leave-in that I just spray on, and then I go back with it with like a gel or something like that. But for my wash and go method, when my hair is out, I use a lot of water because my hair loves water. Like I can't just run under the shower and come out because it'll still be dry. I have to actually soak it with water. And then when I come out, I go through it with the castor oil and my leave-in spray. I've started to use the Softy coconut oil scalp conditioner thing, which has been working pretty good for me now. And then I used a lot of body curl activator hair. And then so once I put the curl activator in, then I go back with the eco gel. You should section your hair, but for me I don't have to because my hair takes. I just put it there and then I shake for like 20 to 30 seconds, and my wash and go is complete, and I'm pretty good.
Okay. Well, for me, my minute, Charmaine, hi, just to address you and your wash and go question. Like I said, my wash and goes were pretty bomb, so I guess that's why she wants me to answer it. I start with clean hair. That's the first tip. Your hair needs to be completely clean of all products. So that's the perfect start to a wash and go, is on perfectly cleansed hair, not on hair that still has remnants of other products in it or anything like that. I start on clean hair. clean, deep conditioned hair. I follow that with a light leave-in. Remember, you're gonna use mostly a lot of product for a wash and go, depending on the type of your hair. So you go light with the leave-in, and then you're gonna decide if your hair type needs a gel or a cream, because some hair types need a cream, some need a gel. I use a gel. I use right now I use wet line gel. I used to use Eco Styler, but I
$6
find
gel right there.
I use wet line now. Wet line is my gel. Or if I find that my hair, the last wash and go, it seemed a little bit dry, I use my homemade flaxseed gel that I've put my essential oils in to ensure that I'm still conditioning my hair but still getting some hold and definition. So after you apply the gel, I leave it. And I use my fingers to rake it through. It's called shingling. Again, I don't use a whole lot of the terms or whatever because I don't like to confuse people. I rake it through with my fingers, or I use my Denman brush and I get my curls defined, and then I leave it alone. After it's about 60 to 70% dry, I go in with my oil to break that gel cast so that my hair is still defined but soft, and I leave it. At night, I pineapple it up on the top, put a satin bonnet on, leave it. I just fluff and go for about a week. Like that, I get a wash and go that lasts maybe a week. By the 5th or 6th day, I'm in a high puff and I'm pretty much good to go. That's how my style morphs. First 3 days, it's out. 4th, 5th day, up in one. Maybe the 6th day, I might get a low back in one, and then I'm back to wash day again. So that's my tip. Look, my tip to getting through this is low manipulation. You're going to be tempted to be in your hair every day because you're locked down and maybe there's nothing else to do. But that's not necessarily the healthiest thing for your hair. You're going to create breakage. Twist it down, plait it down, put it in a ponytail, and again, please stop putting your ponytail in the same place every day. You're going to create breakage right where you put that ponytail. Stop pulling it overly tight, and stop using things that have metal on it in your hair. It creates a point of breakage. So wrap it up in a ponytail. I'm very thrifty. I cut up my old stockings. They work perfectly. That band, the circles from the legs, I cut them about that wide, and that's what I use on my hair because they don't snag, they don't tangle in my hair. Or I just go to Monty's and get a handful of the ones without the metal clips on it. Pull it back in one,
the covered elastics.
Right, the covered elastics that don't have the metal. And I keep my hair covered. If I'm not going to go to bed if my hair isn't covered or my satin pillowcase isn't on my pillow.
You're strong.
Because that's going to create breakage.
Yeah, that's what it is.
My hair is short. I'm rocking a haircut now, but if I sleep on the back of my hair, it will look like a rug if I sleep on it without tying it down, because I'm just rolling over the pillowcase all night and it's a cotton pillowcase. So that's my tip. Keep it simple. Keep your hands out your hair as much as possible. Follow the basics, and this is an excellent time, I feel, to reacquaint yourself with learning what your hair really likes and does not like.
Well, for my tips for natural hair, I would say moisture, moisture, moisture. Making sure that you're using your moisture shampoo, your moisture conditioner or deep conditioner. Making sure you put in your leave-in, your moisturizer, and then you want to make sure you seal your ends. For some people, they need to seal. I would say my recommendation is probably sealing twice out of the week, because when you're using natural oils, you don't have to use a whole lot and you don't have to use it every single day. And maintenance-wise, on keeping your hair moisturized, I'll say do your little twistle, do your flat twist, your rod set if you want to look cute, your spiral set. And for my relaxed clients, a tip I want to give to them also is, please, no ponytail. Let's give them edges a break. Let's make sure we moisturize them ends. When you come back to the salon, I don't want to be trimming any ends off because they are dry. Let's make sure we focus on the ends because the ends is the oldest part of our hair. The roots produces its own oil. We don't have, unless you're dealing with psoriasis or eczema or whatever, then you can penetrate that oil to the root of the hair. But the ends needs the most love and care for it in order for us to retain that length. And so for them, I would say their style, what they could do during the lockdown would be, again, like the twist, or just simply just roll it back in 3 big plaits. And when we come out of the lockdown, they could unravel them braids and wear a nice braid out.
Mm-hmm.
And making sure to keep them edges protected. Because sometimes we feel as if we have on that stocking cap all over our head, and then it's just like right here. And so you're wondering why, oh, my edges some feel so dry and crispy because you didn't sleep on with your edges out on the pillowcase. So making sure that you protect the hair properly and making sure that when you go and you shower, you put on your plastic cap on your hair properly also.
Mm-hmm. And not stocking cap, guys, stocking cap.
Yes, not stocking cap. Yeah.
Mm.
Yep.
Nice. Okay, so we are in the final few seconds. Is there any tip that you're burning to add before we wrap this up? And because it's been great, y'all, and the persons are commenting that they really love the session and they learned a lot. And so persons are saying, you know, they got a lot of their questions answered. So I do hope we covered everyone. And we missed you doing the question and answer session. It was not intentional. And again, any one of our panel, do you guys want to add anything else before we close?
Burning. Do not be afraid of trims or a haircut. I didn't cut my hair because of damage, but I've never been afraid of trimming. If I sit in a chair on Tara, Chantal, or whatever, and they told me, Rhea, we need to take 6 inches off for your hair to be healthy, take the 6 inches off. I'm fine with that. Because do you just want to have this hair or do you want healthy hair? Decide which one it is. Because it's to me, it's hair, it's gonna grow back. But do you want to keep what you have with that stringy, damaged hair, or would you rather have it grow back healthy and robust? Don't be afraid of trimming and get trims regularly.
And believe it or not, the dead ends actually slow down your growth, and they also
it
kill
does.
the other hair too.
Yeah, definitely does.
So anyone
I'll also like to say for the people who are actually getting their hair braided, shingled, these braided hairstyles, please let the braiders them know they don't have to start your braids from here from your eyebrows. You know, you have to let them know that okay, it's okay to leave the baby hair out. Because we see too much people walking around with their edges gone and they try to replace it with black hair dye, I don't know, the black spray and all those things. You're actually damaging your hair. You're damaging your hair. And when you reach into the salon, you want a miracle to be fixed. Whereas you didn't tell a braider, well, you know what, don't braid my hair like this. Okay, I want to wait 2 weeks, treat it, and then come back and then get it braided. So I want to tell the viewers out there, please be careful with the braids. They are doing a lot of damage on the hair. And I cannot repair the hair overnight. So I need you guys to make sure, say to the braider, okay, you don't have to braid my edges. You can leave that out and you could just take your little edge control or your gel and slick it in. You still look cute.
And piggyback off of that, do not relax your hair today and braid your hair tomorrow.
Yes.
You don't need to be
today.
relaxed. Yeah.
Weave it. So you don't have to weave the entire hair and then do not relax the entire hair and then go and weave the same day. Or braid it.
Yeah. And be at least 4 weeks in with a relaxer. At least 4
what
weeks.
about persons who believe in just perming the edges? I don't know if you guys remember when that was a trend. I think people still do it today.
You're weakening your
yes,
hair.
you're
weakening your hair. You're making your edge thin.
definitely.
It's not
Yeah.
worth it.
Mhm.
Wear a wig.
Now if you are natural and you're weaving up your hair, I usually suggest purchasing hair that is closer to your texture, or if
Yes.
you want the
Certainly.
straight hair, you leave out the portions of the hair that's going to cover the braid, I mean the trap that's going to be showing, and then you can flat iron that portion instead of relaxing. Because when you take that weave out and now you want to use your natural hair and you want to have a natural style, it's hard to manipulate the portions of your hair that has already been relaxed to blend with the rest of your hair, so now you're looking all funny. You understand? So yeah, no, just you either use hair that is closer to your texture,
Texture,
or if you're
yeah.
going to use straight hair, you just flat iron the
Right.
portion that you're going to leave out.
And one
So,
thing for
And the
those with the lace
to
and
piggyback on what you said
mhm.
too, when you're doing a sewing, and let's just say you are relaxed, you want to make sure. And let's say you need it, you need a relax, you need a touch up. I'm telling that person to make sure you use a hair texture that's close to their hair, not straight hair. It's not the answer. A yaki texture hair will better blend with your hair rather than trying to go with a bone straight extensions, and that means that you will always have to keep pressing, and that you actually burning out your leave out.
Mm.
and for those that wear the lace frontals and the glue. Now I know Tara Dam and John Tara probably have a headache with this one. Yes, because I know a few people again because I sell both oil. These are the constant problems that I people come to me with. They get the lace front on, and of course the lace frontal then glue it, and they tired of the style. So 2 weeks they gonna try to yuck off the lace that already glue onto the edges, because that's where the stylist or whoever do it put
Listening,
it on. They don't put it off here, they
listening.
put it right on the edge, and they yucking it off for those for
You
the
asking
glue,
mommy to change your pampers?
and when lock it
You
off,
asking mama to change your pampers? You
that is
asking mommy
the
to change
issue.
your pampers?
But
No.
if you read the bottle of the lace front glue, it does state that it burns your hair.
Your
It's not
hair,
burns the hair, it burns the scalp.
the scalp.
So you basically keep putting that
Really?
repeatedly over the hairline. What do you
Mm-hmm.
think is going to happen?
You mean
Lace
It's
got
front
to
was
good.
be
basically made for cancer patient people
Chins.
who don't
Mm-hmm.
have any hair. And so you put that around
Are
your
you
edges,
talking about got to
whereas
be glue?
the hair is so fine, you end up putting, when you take that wig cap off or you trying to take that glue from around the hairline, you're actually still taking out your hair. So yes, I have a lot of clients that comes in
Mm-hmm.
with
Mm-hmm.
that same issue, and they
Please
feel as
don't
if they
do it
could
during the quarantine. Don't
yeah.
let it slide off naturally.
And
Yeah, or
even with the wig wearers, I try to tell them that the wig, inside of the wig, have a band inside of it.
mm-hmm.
That causes tension around the
Chin around the
hairline.
hairline.
Causes the hairline to be thin also.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to be careful now that we at home. You don't need to wear that wig. So let's try
Yeah.
to restore our ends.
This is the time
Let's
now
try
to
to
restore.
restore our
Yes.
restore our edges, restore the ends. Let's
Mm-hmm.
get that good growth going on. You
You
know,
could
let's
really come
start
out with long
learn the
hair after
products and
this
stuff.
quarantine if you do it right.
Yeah,
So,
they
right?
should.
Yes, you definitely
Because
can.
time
And if
to
you
get
All of
don't,
my
adjusted.
clients, I did a care package for each and every one of those clients that comes to me every 2 weeks, and they have their whole list of things that they need for their hair. So when the salon opens back up, there's no reason for me to have to do any trimming.
You a good
none.
stylist.
No, none, because I do video calls, boo.
Oh,
Yes.
If something going on that you are not sure of,
about
video
Yeah.
call me and I'm gonna walk you through that.
Everything.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I have products as well that my
Yeah.
clients use, and they
Mhm.
have their package as well. I have
Yes.
some people who gotta wait until Monday because we on lockdown now, so they call too late. So now
Yeah.
you have to wait till Monday for you to get your items. But
Yeah.
like she said, this is now the time for you to get your hair in
Together.
its healthiest
Big.
ever state.
yeah.
While you're here, especially for the wig wearers, if you have lost your edges, now is the time for you to regain your edges back. So
And I have
you
one more thing I
the
want to
until
say for
such
the
time when you actually have to to really go out. If you for hair tie, a regular baseball cap, and you want to wear
Oh,
a wig, but
yeah.
I
I
always
have
look
one
at
more thing
turbans.
to say too with the parents for the kids. Please do not let their hair air dry out. Please. Their hair is getting matted that way. And so by you going back in and using a fine teeth comb, trying to clear out that child hair, you're actually causing harm than good. So make sure that at night you want to make sure you protect the kids' hair. Make sure you're keeping their hair moisturized and sealed also. And if
I
you
lost
have the
connection.
comb, just make sure you down the hair a little bit and then go in with the moisturizer and the oil. And then use a big tea comb to clear out whatever you need to.
Nice. Okay, our viewing audience, it was great having you with us, and it was great us hanging out with you. Actually, we had a wonderful time. Well, I can speak for myself. I had a great time.
Yeah, I had a good time.
I was
I
learning
trying
all
to
my
figure out
ways.
which one of y'all I making this appointment with.